and welcome. Nice to have you with us on a busy afternoon on this third day of July, 2018. Hi, everybody. Yours truly, Christopher Russo, as we talked about what's going on as far as the world of sports is concerned. Eddie and crew today, as we chat, 888 Mad Dog 6. That's your two-way sports talk telephone number. As we go around the horn here for you, do a little this, a little that. We'll do a little World Cup later. Obviously, England and Colombia are right now deadlocked at 0-0 at half. Sweden beat Switzerland. Is that correct? Was it 1-0 for Sweden today, or was it 2? 1-0 for Sweden today, so they advance into the quarters. This is the last round of 16 we have. We'll get Tony Miola on a little later on from Russia to do the top 8. So we'll look forward to that here on our program today. Steve Phillips today, you and I today. John Sterling today, our pal. 80th birthday for John tomorrow, as he has been a voice of the Yankees and has not missed a game since the late 80s. So we'll get a chance to talk to John. As a matter of fact, you should find, Eddie, if you can find it, the Rick Camp home run call of the 85 ball game on this day, on the next day. It's tomorrow is the anniversary, with that crazy game with the Mets and the Braves with the fireworks at 3:53 in the morning. John called that game there on TBS. So we'll have some fun for you on this busy day, and obviously do some NBA as we move it along, as we chat. Let's start with the two developments in the NBA. One that happened, of course, last night, and then the other just a sort of a big picture look. And the first one from last night is DeMarcus Cousins, who ended up signing a 1-year, $5.3 million contract with the Warriors. The Warriors' Cousins falls into their lap. I don't know if it was the idea that New Orleans didn't want to pay him because he's got that Achilles and he's out for a while, maybe until next December. I don't know if the Lakers got a little leery of it. Maybe they want to save some spots for Kawhi Leonard. I don't know how, in fact, he ended up there. I mean, did he call Golden State and said, please take me? You would think that, maybe he priced himself out of New Orleans. I'm really not that interested of how he got there, because to me, it's not that important. He's going to get his $50 million eventually if he keeps his nose clean and just plays. Somebody will take a chance on him, despite the fact he's been very checkered and his teams never win, and he's very difficult and everything else on his teammates. This is one place he can't be that difficult with, though, in Golden State. He's not yelling at Durant. I can guarantee you that. And if Curry doesn't like him, or Klay Thompson doesn't like him, or Draymond Green doesn't like him, they get him off the team before you know it. He's only making $5.3 million, and they've won some championships without him. So this is basically just adding insult to injury as far as bringing Cousins in. And listen, it's a big blow. New Orleans was just about clicking before he got hurt in late January. They were playing really well. Then they struggled, and then they played really well again. They got Mirotic there from the Bulls, and they played really well in the postseason. They obviously swept the Trailblazers. They gave the Warriors, they won a game from Golden State and gave them two other very good games in that second round in the NBA West. So they really made some progress. You figure Cousins and Davis went to Kentucky, not together, but they were there. They got a little Kentucky deal with them. I don't know what exactly occurred here. They also lost Rondo yesterday, too. They got the kid from Orlando to be the backup point guard. And then, of course, they bring in Randall, 2 years, $18 million. And Davis, I guess, convinces them to go there, too, another Kentucky connection. So very, very interesting as far as what's going on with New Orleans. But Cousins goes to the Warriors now, and of course Golden State is just, I don't see how you can beat them. I mean, to me, it's getting to be a real disaster. It's a joke, the NBA. And again, I've said this to you for 2 days. I'll say it again. Adam Silver can say anything he wants. He cannot like this development. I mean, Golden State will sleepwalk through the regular season. They won't care. They're winning their 55 games just because they can. They got to play some games. So they'll win their 55 games. Cousins will be motivated. They don't need him in the first half of the season. They need him to play 20 games in the second half just so he fits in, and they need him to make maybe a couple of plays in a postseason series to be a difference maker. That's all. They need nothing else, and that's exactly what he's going to provide. I mean, listen, he's at 25 points, 13 rebounds a game, and I'm not trying to tell you he's an angel because, he is disruptive. His teams have never won, going back back to Kentucky. His teams have never won. He's a keg of dynamite. It's dangerous with him. Just ask the Kings. It's dangerous with him. But he had begun to turn it around with the Pelicans last year before he ruptured his Achilles. You think he's playing for a huge contract. He should keep his mouth shut. Whether he called Golden State or vice versa, who knows? There was a need for a center. They lost McGee to the Lakers. I mean, I don't know how the two of them got together. I mean, did LeBron want Cousins? That's all I heard on Saturday night, that LeBron loves Cousins. I mean, who knows? Bottom line is, though, he ended up on a team that is really the NBA's worst nightmare now, because how are the Warriors going to lose? I mean, how are they possibly? They're going to lose even with Cousins. And yes, you're going to tell me they almost lost last year, and yes, you're going to tell me that if Paul didn't get hurt, and yes, you're going to tell me this, and yes, you're going to tell me that. Houston last year, everything broke right. They had a great regular season. They were superb, had the MVP, Paul into it, the system and everything else, and they won the 65 games. They had the home court. I don't know if that's going to happen again for the Rockets. Plus, Ariza's gone. Paul's never healthy. I know if you're going to tell me if he didn't rip his hamstring, hurt his hamstring, they could have won that conference final, and we wouldn't be talking about a Golden State dynasty. All right. And I think that they had a hell of a chance to win that series if Paul didn't get hurt. Obviously, a big lead there, second quarter of Game 6, no Paul. Obviously, an 11-point lead, Game 7, no Paul at halftime. So you can make the argument very fairly, and, I think with some credence that if they had him, they would have won won the NBA championship. You can make that argument. Now, Golden State didn't play well in that series. They were off. They did not play well. They kind of found their niche a little later on. They really didn't play well throughout the whole playoffs, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they were They lost games. They lost the game to San Antonio. Lost the game to the aforementioned Pelicans. They were in a they were in a death squeeze against the Rockets, and really should have lost Game 1 against Cleveland. So they weren't as dominant. And they still won. And then they swept the Cavs. And I do understand they played a 7th game and they could have lost. I get that. I don't think Houston will be, maybe that could have been Houston's opportunity. I think Houston will be quite as good as next year as they were this year. And you got to really concern yourselves now with Cousins there with Golden State. I mean, literally, how could they lose? I mean, think about it. And you're going to start in a postseason game. I'm assuming Cousins, who shoots threes, I'm assuming Cousins is going to, sit there and behave himself. But Cousins, Durant, Green, Thompson, and Curry. Now, how's that team going to lose? We're throwing Iguodala in and Livingston off the bench. Now, how's that team going to lose? Tell me. You explain to me. Who's going to beat them in a 7-game series? Even Houston. Explain me that. This may have been the perfect storm for the Rockets this past year. The Warriors, maybe not quite as confident. Some injuries, a little stale. A big chance for the Rockets. Golden State did not play well in that series, and they still didn't beat them. Paul and no Paul. They still didn't win. Golden State learned probably from that. They did win a Game 7 on the road. You tell me, and they weren't going away there in the fourth quarter. Paul and no Paul. How are you going to beat him now with Cousins? If he keeps his nose clean. And, with him, you never know. But if he's ever going to keep his nose clean, this is the team he's going to keep his nose clean for. I mean, the Warriors. They're not going to fool around. Cousins is a pain in the neck. They're going to get him out of there, and he knows it. 12 after the hour, we continue. Mad Dog Unleashed.